Tonight, a Target 8 follow-up after fire destroyed a Grand Rapids auto repair shop last fall. It was a fire that not only destroyed the business, but left a lot of customers without their cars. That business had been cited repeatedly by the state, yet was allowed to renew its license 3 years in a row. Now we know that other shops, some not licensed at all, are coming under state scrutiny. Target 8 wanted to know what the state's doing to protect your wallet and, even more importantly, your safety on the road. Cutler Car Care on South Division is a shop undergoing ownership changes and one well known to investigators at the Secretary of State's office. I'm doing a story about auto repair shops. Thomas Wheeler is now the sole owner, separating from his old partners after drawing the attention of state investigators.
I do a lot of them.
He's determined to grow his business the right way. The shop was slapped with a cease and desist order last May, cited by the state for issuing improper invoices and failing to use certified mechanics. Wheeler says he's navigated piles of paperwork and red tape to get the repair shop's license reinstated. And even though the shop is back in business, the state continues to keep a close eye on the facility.
I wouldn't say that they're hassling. I think they're just trying to make sure that everybody's in check.
An even playing field.
Yes.
There are close to 10,000 repair shops in the state, and the majority of them play by the rules. But some don't. And now there's a renewed effort at the state level to crack down. You get the sense that this enforcement was long overdue.
Oh, yes. Again, it was very frustrating for my guys. You know, they're trying to keep people employed. They're fighting for work.
The ones we're going to go after are the ones that don't follow the rules and the ones that violate the law. That party's over.
To beef up its investigative unit, the Secretary of State has brought on Daryl Hill, a former Michigan State police inspector with more than 25 years' experience in exposing auto theft and financial crimes. Hill says it's not just that the problem shops might fail to deliver what you paid for. They could put your safety at risk, too.
You don't know if that particular facility, if the mechanics are licensed, if they're licensed in that particular area that of mechanical work they're performing on your vehicle. And so if you're in there to get an engine repair and the person's licensed only to do a brake job, you know, you really don't want that to happen.
In the case of the auto shop that burned last fall, it was determined that a mechanic removing a gas tank sparked the massive blaze. The Target 8 found other businesses flying completely under the radar, posing as hobby shops while advertising as a legitimate business. We're doing a story about unlicensed auto repair shops. Robinson's Body Shop is located in the woods just outside of Cedar Springs. Their website, which has since been removed, said that they were a full-service auto repair shop. A Craigslist ad online assured customers they were licensed and insured. Is this a licensed repair shop?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Do you mind if I take a look at it? Yet, according to the Secretary of State's office, department staff made an on-site visit and determined that Robinson's was neither licensed as a repair facility, nor were certified mechanics working there. The state says the location should not be in operation until they receive a license and have certified mechanics. They have been since hit with a cease and desist order. The day we visited, the receptionist said that she couldn't find their license. Requests to interview the owner have gone unanswered.
There's a lot of places that say they do hobby work, and they're actually doing work and making money, just like I'm trying to, except they undercut me.
It seems like the cease and desist is just a piece of paper. You really need some teeth. You need a penalty.
We'd like to see a deterrent.
Fisher and the Secretary of State are in favor of proposed legislation in the State House right now that would penalize unlicensed shops, much like unlicensed car dealerships are penalized.
We are looking for more meat as far as more ability to assess fines and enforce more administrative actions against the repair facilities.
That bill still is being considered in the House. A licensed shop should have that certification on display, as well as licenses for the mechanics working at the garage. You should be able to see the paperwork posted in the shop. You can always go to the website of the Secretary of State's office to make sure that a business is licensed, and you can check with the Better Business Bureau to see if the facility has had any previous complaints and how they were handled. We have these resources and a lot more available online at woodtv.com.